All right, so you've been hooping, your legs are tired, and I got about 7 hours on my legs in the last 2 days of playing. I wanted to go over a few of the things I do for knee health, take away some of those pains, and just give you a little bit more longevity on the court. So follow along and I'll show you what I do. So you wake up the next morning, you're sore. Literally the first thing I do when I get out of bed is use this kind of half inflatable thing. It works for balance, but also activates a lot of the muscles that you're going to be using throughout the day. For me, specifically my Achilles, obviously this is a balancing workout, but a lot of the smaller muscles in your foot, your Achilles wakes up, your calf gets to work, and it just makes walking around, moving so much easier. And that's the thing for the rest of the video, just movement. Even if you're sore, you want to get moving. But this little thing has been amazing. It's pretty cheap. I'll link a link to Amazon below in the description. But this is one of the first things I do when I wake up. So you can do other things, but my favorite cardio is just going on a bike. Low impact on the knees, do about 20-30 minutes. Really helps with your full blood flow throughout your leg. So you did your morning stretches. Maybe you did some movement on a bike, or if you have a rowing machine, something at home, went for a walk, you want to get that movement in. But maybe before or after that movement, I always do my stretches. Now, I'm not going to put this on video, but this is something where you want to stretch your quads, you want to do your hamstrings, you want to do some calf stretches. And if you guys want video on what I do, I can definitely post it. But doing those stretches that we take for granted when you're young, you do them and you don't feel like it's doing anything because your body is generally pretty loose. But then after you've actually worked hard, maybe you see some advantages. As you get older, you don't really stretch because in your mind, you're like, well, I didn't stretch when I was younger. Why do I need this? But stretching makes a huge difference for your performance, not only recovery as after you work out, but even before the workout, just to get your blood flowing. Now, you have static stretching, which is what I do in the morning. And then you actually do have kind of an active stretch where you're doing things to get the blood flowing. I do that usually before I get into my movements, get into playing basketball, where you want to kind of move and wake up the muscles and get some blood flowing. All right, so you did some morning stretching, you did a little bit of movement, obviously the balancing workout. Next we have here, these are called Floss Bands. These are relatively cheap. The red one has a little bit higher tension. The black one is a little bit lower tension. We're going to put the red one on the top of the knee here, as you can see it. It's something you really have to do on your own because of the amount of pressure it puts on you. Too much pressure restricts blood flow. Too little, you're not going to have the desired effect. So we're going to wrap it around the knee here, top and bottom. It gets tight, it gets somewhat uncomfortable, and then we're just going to get moving. Now you only need about 1 to 2 minutes of this, so it isn't something you're going to do a lot of, but you want to get into a full range of motion with your knee, move it around, really work that blood flow, and after 1 or 2 minutes you see a huge result. Bend it, do all kind of movements on there. Once it starts to get uncomfortable, obviously you're going to know it because it is tight, it is restricting that blood flow. You're going to want to take it off as fast as possible. Now, once you kind of rip these things off, the body forces blood into the knee. It feels incredible and actually feels almost like you're getting a massage, but you do want to take these off quickly so you can get the blood flowing. So now we get into some resistance. So here we're using kind of a medium resistance band that's a little bit heavier. I'll see if I can put a link to the description below. We're just going to wrap it around any pole. There's various ways to do this. I just use a longer one with both legs. You're going to want to get into kind of a half squat position here where you're putting just enough tension into kind of your soleus muscles, your quads. And again, this is activating your knees, your quads, and really forcing blood flow into those positions. Hold it, kind of go up and down a few times, really start to make a difference. So the second to last thing, and I'll go over the last thing inside, is going to be rucking. I generally go out with about 40 to 60 pounds on my back, go for a half mile, 1 mile, 2 mile walk, and you wouldn't realize that carrying that weight on your back, helping your posture, and how it affects your knees, it
makes a big difference. Let's go back to the studio.
And the final thing, you saw the rucking, you saw some of the movements I did with the bands, the floss bands as far as getting that blood flow, is going to be just watching and doing some of the stuff that Knees Over Toes guys does. I know he's been working with Mark Bell on the Power Podcast, and they've done some amazing videos. I don't want to pretend to take any credit for his stuff, but backwards sled walks, doing the movements where you have kind of that one-legged lunge where you're putting more pressure on it, the different stretches that he has been amazing. So I don't want to go over all of that because it's something that he's done and it's his channel, so I totally understand. If you want to see what I do and kind of my take and version of it, I'm happy to do it. Put it in the comments below. But I can tell you from personal testimony, it works. And one thing I love about the Knees Over Toes guys and his program is he puts enough content out there. You guys don't need to buy his program, and he does that on purpose. But if you did want a step-by-step kind of tutorial and accountability and levels, you can buy his program, and he has a whole team kind of helping out, making sure that you're doing what you need to. So I love that he offers both ways. Like, hey, we have something that's more going to be guided and to help you a little bit more deliberately, or we're just going to put all the information out there. You guys can do it, and it's something that's going to help anyone who's looking to be more active and really just help that recovery and help your knees in general. And you're going to see that effect not only on your knees, but your lower back, your quads, your calf, your Achilles. He even has some mobility workouts for like the shoulders and the back. But in general, this is my routine for recovery. As just a testimony, guys, when I feel really good and I just go out and play 2, 3, 4 hours, and I do it again and again and again, usually by the 3rd or 4th day, I feel wrecked. So I've learned that if I can play for 4 hours, I'm still going to do about an hour of recovery or kind of physical therapy work where I'm doing some of the knees over toes drills. I'm still doing my stretching. You're still getting your strength in. If I can play 2 hours, I'm probably going to play an hour, hour and a half. So I pull back from playing as much as possible to take care of my body. And when I do that, I'm able to play, almost every day, and I feel great. And when I feel great and I neglect that, all of a sudden it's a few days where I can't play and I just have to go into like full rehab mode for 2-3 days to kind of let my body recover. So this is something, the older you get, obviously you do want to pay more attention to, but when you're younger and you're doing these things, you're going to see effects with your performance on court, being able to be more explosive, reducing those chances of injuries. So taking care of your body has huge benefits for the young, for the old, wherever performance level you're at. Guys, hopefully this video helped you out. I want to see you guys on the court. I want to meet up. If you guys are in Chicago, give me a shout out. I'd love to meet up. I'm always looking to hoop. Really appreciate you guys. And put the comments below anything additional you want to see, and I'm happy to do my part. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears, and I really appreciate you guys, and I'll come at you later.